Super Macron World, Ultra Light Edition, NonAlcoholic Bunny Beer, aka FanFan 21. With some Thomas the Tank Engine music. Guess we'll go to the podcast. How does the podcast work? This hack is a tribute to a prank call podcast that deals with complainers. This is not meant to target any group. This hack is created for entertainment purposes. This is a heavily nerfed version of the original, as that's tool assisted, which I would not want to try to play. Impatient. Well, that's clearly the level for me. Oh, Top Gear. Yeah, I actually have a physical card of this. One of my cousins gave me a physical card for a birthday forever ago. I forget when. Really fun game, in all honesty. But the music is top-notch. Which is why anybody really remembers it, sadly. Basically, this track, I don't think there's more than one track in that game. On the other hand, I was never good enough at the game to really get that far into it. Like, I'm not a racing game guy unless there's like combat or something funny. Hero play tested it. Oh, nice. Like, if I was gonna play one racing type game on the stream, it would probably be Mega Race, which is something probably none of you have heard of. But it was a CD based racer in the DOS era. I think it was also on Sega CD, which basically isn't all that interesting except for the FMV nonsense. The backgrounds are all FMV. So the way it works is like it slows down the video playback or it speeds it up depending upon how fast you're going, which is kind of ingenious. 2 parts ingenious, 1 part silly. It also has this like tasteless game show host who's hosting the whole Mega Race concept. Basically, it's the kind of game that you would find like in someone's CD like folder. There we go. Because they got it for free. Like, no one would actually pay money for this. There were quite a few games in that era like that. Oh, I didn't think that through. Oh, hey! Flaky. The Lawnmower Man was another one that was somewhat similar in that regard. I don't need to do a yump here, do I? That doesn't make sense, no. Hold on. Moderator instincts tingling. Okay, no. You need max jump. There we go. Oh. It's a pretty big jump, yeah. Fair enough. What other games were that kind of thing? Mad Dog McCree. That was another game that, like, no one actually wanted, but you would find frequently, like, sitting in someone's, like, CD caddy. Whoops. Kind of an on-rails shoot-'em-up game that was in the Wild West. Again, nothing... I keep forgetting what I'm actually supposed to be doing here. The Lawnmower Man was another one, because the Lawnmower Man games were so different, depending upon, like, what console or whatever you were on. Because I remember playing the PC version at my uncle's house many, many, many years ago, and that had weird sequences where you had to, like, memorize movement, and then you had to... What was the other thing you had to do? It was weird. You like, lead a robot through a small maze. Anyway, the whole point is the Lawnmower Man concept is weird. Almost got me there. I got lucky, though. Remember, patience is a virtue. I'll try, but I can't wait to have patience. Because patience is a wonderful thing. Didn't have enough patience. But yeah, just was a thing back in the day. Is like you'd end up getting a bunch of like random-ass CD games whenever you did. What am I looking at here? Ah. Oh! Oh. Just you'd go to like a store, you'd purchase some other thing, and you'd throw in this crap that no one wanted. Another fairly common one was like 5 million games in one. Eh? Oh, those still kill you. I thought I'd briefly discovered like a portrait room or something. Okay, I need to wait a lot more than that. Did see a fun video where someone went through those like 300 DOS games for Windows CDs. And the funny thing about them is that basically all of them were just random crap downloaded from BBSs. Like all of them. Probably a little bit too late now. That was still early? Yeah, patience is a virtue. But an awful lot of them are just the same crap every time. Of course, there are a bunch of good ones. Like Castle of the Winds shareware, absolutely brilliant if you want a like very lo-fi roguelike. One of those games that like, if I find a good way to like queue up a bunch of midis, it might be worth playing. So I think the game itself is silent. It was in that era. But Retro Dave cheesed it with doing a P-switch jump. That's actually pretty cool. You should make it so, like, one of the... Try that? That's way late. What would be really funny would be to make it so that the... Well, no, I actually can't do that, but if you made the Munchers... Yeah, I can see why it's possible with a good P-switch jump. Honestly, it's up to you. It's the kind of thing that if I found it, I don't think I'd throw it back over the wall for it, unless I found a lot of other cheese. And it very much would depend upon the intended difficulty, too. It's a little demoralizing every single time it happens. It's also weird to be waiting patiently with this music. Trying to figure out when... I need, like, to think about how... I need to come up with a tell. Because I'm kind of close with my natural instinct, but my natural instinct isn't good enough. I don't mess this up. Woo! 16! Done being impatient. Get on the no-fly list. I had a friend who got on the no-fly list once. He made a terrible mistake. Not so much a terrible mistake, really. He was trying to help his friend, who was on the no-fly list, and so, like, Southwest made sure he wasn't going to fly that day. Oh, what? I haven't seen him in a while. I should see if we can get lunch. Well, he didn't end up permanently on the no-fly list, and the problem was that he had a cousin whose name was matched with someone on the no-fly list. Because because he's Arabic, and a Muslim, there's an awful lot of people whose names are literally like Muhammad Bar, and so like the names don't help you that much. I don't mean to be cliche here, but basically every Muslim dude is named Muhammad something, with kind of the thing being is you are called by your middle name. Oh, whoa, what the? Does it got Fly Me the Stars on this? It's kind of like Russians. They got their own, like, deal with names, and I don't remember how that works either. I need to be big so I can go down. Like, there's conjugations of the last name depending upon your gender, I think? Oh. So much for my plan to take it easy. It is the most common name. It's a very common name, yes. But it's not nearly as funny as Ivan Ivanovich, which I think there were like 2 of in The Master and Margarita. We're getting better at flying today. I could say we're gonna go slow flying. We in fact did not go slow flying. This is not a hard part. Close enough. Not close enough. Okay. Master Margaret. It's true. Hey, I did it! Wait, what? What was I supposed to do? Apparently not that. What a book. I know far more about Pontius Pilate than I ever wanted to. Lip glitch? Oh, I just need a spin jump, you're right. It was the getting hit thing that threw me off. Alright, I got lucky there. And unlucky there. And unlucky there. And I'm familiar with the glitch. I just... when I got hit, I was like, wait, what? Why did that happen? That wasn't what I wanted. And was confused. Like, it's one of the reasons I recommend for an awful lot of newer players to play Jump. Because it's got jumps and platforms. Balls. And that tells you a lot of useful information in the game about a few weird glitches and how things work. Nope. Boop. And boop. This time shall be different. I got the midway. That's how it was different. Alright, what's in the box? It's a shell. Reading biographies about the creators of Pokemon. Oh yeah! Might be of interest. I was linked to basically Game Freak before it was a video game company. Was sort of how's the right way to phrase this? Like, they were a circle? Well, they were a group of people who would publish game guides and sell them at fan events, because that's the word circle means, people who sell things at fan events and the like. And I have open in a tab somewhere, archive.org, with a lot of these, and the art is really nice and interestingly contemporary in many ways. I don't know what I need to do here yet. I think it's weird. In this level, you might end up fixing it. Okay. Hope I don't need the shell. Oh, whoops. It's probably fine. that seemed okay. I wasn't really sure what the ending it wanted me to do. I felt like I was supposed to like kick the shell in there, but it only being a one-tile thing didn't work that well. So dropping it and waiting seemed like the smart move. I'm not really sure. And then, like, yeah, I could see the cape slam thing, but I didn't need the cape at the end, so it worked out. What's going on here? This level goes out to Jeff O'Neill. Player. Not the hockey player. Oh, poor Jeff. Alright, so we have a mushroom here. It sure is going places. And then this is probably a block, and I need to get up this way. Okay. What? That's... No, they weren't game magazines. They were like zines. They were self-published them. Same way an awful lot of other Dojin Works stuff worked. And I have a tab somewhere of like their old game guides to... that's the smart move. I was like, man, setting it that way sucks. Just takes a moment. And I'm being dumb. But yeah, I need to like put that on, send that up on Discord or something, because it's just really cool. And yeah, there was a bit of contemporary art, because I didn't know about this. There was a anime that had a lot of fans, but also was apparently cursed. I learned about that like the day beforehand, and then saw that character in one of the Game Freak things, and was like, wow, huh, I know what that is now. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, they're basically guides. I think they have one for Tower of Daruga. There was one, I want to say, for like Mappy Land. It's like Japanese arcade games. And they published a lot of them, and they published one somewhat more recently, like early 2000s, you know, after Game Freak became an institution. Sort of as a retrospective about their games they make. 'Cause they didn't just make Pokemon, like, they made other stuff before Pokemon's. Dappy Mac, you've never heard of Tower Daruga? Wow. I mean, Tower Daruga is legendary in many ways. GameCube, I don't know about any of the later ones, but the original one is one of those, like, there would be a book of stuff people had figured out next to the arcade cabinet in Japanese arcades back in the day. Because it's one of those types of games where, like, it's all about finding and knowing secrets. I saw it coming. Execution, not as much. You just needed the knowledge. And it's a lot of knowledge. That was fun. I liked that one. Let me see if I can find it. I'll just post it here. I mentioned I like the fact that... There it is. Yeah, I guess the first one was for Spelunker, maybe? I can't tell. It's all Japanese. Japanese isn't good enough for this. Number 7 is Mappy. I'll link to this one, because Mappy. Were there really notes? It wasn't uncommon back in the day. Also for, like, Street Fighter. This isn't the same level, is it? For games like Street Fighter, there'd also be notes next to the cabinet explaining how to do stuff. Did I want that? What? Okay, what's in the box? There's a mushroom in the box. Okay. Okay, I understand now. Whoops. Well... Wait, what? But I need him to turn around. Stop and think. I see it and I don't like it, but I see it. Okay. I think... Yeah, there we go. Just go impale myself on that spike. Okay, I know what to do. This is just going to be tricky to execute. Huh. Nope. I don't know why, but that trick just makes me laugh. I really like it. It feels so dumb, but it makes so much sense. Oh, I wasn't ready for that. Thump. Oh, I missed it. I can just run straight towards the block. Oh. I was making that so much harder on myself. But it looked so much cooler when I was impaling myself on the spike, you know? But yeah, it's way better to actually have successful runs. Oh. Oh, right. That makes more sense than what I did. But yeah, I guess I never was around at that point in time where they would have helpful notes on the side of arcade cabinets, because, again, I didn't quite live through that era, but I've certainly read about it. What? Oh, come on. Come on. Got this. Well, not quite. But yeah, I love archive.org just because of the sheer amount of random stuff like that you can find on it sometimes. Never went to the arcade never went to the arcade in your town when it was open. I mean, I go to the arcades now, but like, there's never that kind of thing because really, if you did want to know that kind of thing, you just look it up on the internet. So it kind of ruins the mystique of it a little bit. Like, if I really need to know how a pinball machine works, I'll just Google it, because the rule sheet's, at least in some form, around. Like, that's not it. But I think there's also a case where we're just a little bit too young for this specific thing to have been the way it was. I don't think there were quite as many American games that were that way. The only one I can really think of that had that kind of property might be Gauntlet, the Dark Legacy, where that had a bunch of secrets. And things for knowing. One of those games I would actually like to get into at some point, just 'cause it seems like it's fun to navigate. Oh, just a regular jump would have been fine there. Navigate what that was. Though to be fair, the gameplay is somewhat basic, and the thing about it is, like, you're playing on a console. The whole point of Gauntlet is it is a resource deprivation game, which is why it makes sense in the context of an arcade game so much more than a home game. Because basically, every few ticks of the timer, you're losing health in that game. That's why there's the cliche, Blue Wizard needs food badly. Because in Gauntlet, if you don't have food, you're not gonna... food is how you renew your health resource. And the food stuff is hidden in the game. If you know where the foodstuffs are, well, then you get to play a longer game. That's really it. There's value in that. But Dark Legacy also had that same sort of property. Or Gauntlet Legacy? Whatever it was called. There was a 3D version that was like PlayStation 1 era stuff. They had one at the movie theater near me back in the day. Wall Turkey, exactly. Just like, you know, Castlevania, any of those games. Those are games about secrets. Knowing the secrets that help you survive longer help you a lot. This is a double bounce shell. You're welcome. Okay. Nuts. Your friend told you about Gauntlet Dark Legacy and you played it with him? Oh, nice. Oh, never played it with him. Oh, no. Yeah, it was on a good number of consoles. I want to say PlayStation and N64 had ports. Probably Saturn for all I know. Does remind me, I still have the Saturn sitting out. Played more D&D than video games. Ah, fair. In a way, I'm almost tempted to go back and play the Necronomicon-based pinball some more. The footage for that is actually a little bit bad, unfortunately. Fistpit was right, I needed to turn off de-interlacing. Because it is 480i, 100%. I'm not really sure what to do when capturing games that switch modes. Because I know, like, some games, like PlayStation games, and N64 games, actively switch between 240p and 480i. And that is a problem. Fun on Twin Galaxies. I mean, you know how this is going to end. I'm going to send it a grainy videotape, sell a bunch of hot sauce, get sued by, or sue the guys who make some sort of stoner-based comedic cartoon show. Hello, Matt. Just, there's no other way it can end. It has to end that way. Oh, the life of Billy Mitchell. There's just something so funny about Billy Mitchell. It does. Yeah. Also, King of Kong. Upon the reflection of that, like, I'm amazed that anybody involved was like, yeah, I'd like you to release this. I'm happy with this product. The only part of that movie that's actually any good and not horribly, like, cringy, and I don't mean, like, cringy bad, but just, like, it's unpleasant to watch in a way. Like the scene where the kid's yelling, "Dad, wipe my butt!" But he's too busy playing Donkey Kong to help his kid out. That's pretty awful. There we go. But my favorite, without a doubt, in that movie is the guy who keeps coming around at one point in time. There's a possible kill screen coming up. Donkey Kong kill screen coming up in this arcade. And nobody gives two shits. But he keeps running around and telling everybody. Because he himself is very excited at this prospect. But he's the only one. That's the only part of that movie that's worth a damn. But yeah, nobody comes out of the movie looking good. Like, everybody looks weird. There's the people who, like, I don't know, what was it? That came and, like, investigated his Donkey Kong board in the middle of the night. I'm like, why? What? What is happening? Why are we playing this weird Cloak and Dagger? The King of Kong. Or Fistful of Quarters, The King of Kong. A documentary about some Donkey Kong, like, runners, basically. And some of them aren't great. Billy Mitchell comes out looking like a complete and utter heel, which is kind of the purpose of the documentary in a way, is to make him look a bit like a wrestling-style heel, which I think he enjoys, possibly. I don't really know. Our protagonist doesn't look great because he's not stopping playing Donkey Kong to help his child wipe his butt. Things like that. It's not a great movie. I haven't seen the Runners movie, no. I probably should. I watched, like, when a Summoning Salt thing comes out, I usually stop and watch it. Because those are good, but they're basically long-ass documentaries. That was a terrible way to end that. Like I said, the whole thing's weird. Like, some dudes who wanted to come investigate his board to make sure he's playing legitimate Donkey Kong, and yeah, just... It's one of those, like, you look at that era of documentaries, and things like Super Size Me, or Bowling for Columbine, and you're like, one, we thought these were good, two, we thought these were entertaining. Man. They weren't. Super Size Me especially. I mean, it doesn't. It does not have a pause button, but, like... He's a dad. Oh, I didn't do this right. Like, at some point, you have to help your kid. Pretty good, Oddly Core Pro. Oh, yeah. I think I mentioned it much earlier in the stream, but Glitch got Subcon 2 into GDQ. Shoved it has a run of, like, Joker's Shell OK or something. Sounds like a painful-ish shell hack. With a backup run of, I think, one-handed Mario World. So it looks like there's going to be some good stuff. I think Author Blue's got, like, backwards Mario World in. I want to say there's at least one or two more SMW things. SMW-adjacent things. But SumCon is really interesting to me. The simple reason being, have they ever had someone who made the game come and speedrun it? Like, again, I don't want this to be like an impugned thing. It's just a little odd to me that somebody who built their own game is speedrunning it. I don't have any problems with this. It just is one of those, I wonder if this has ever happened before. Because, like, creator speedruns, the schedule isn't out, just the accepted games. Because, like, the way I think it works is they have to build the schedule after they get more acceptances. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to go until the game schedule comes out. That's, like, literally the only way I'm going to be able to figure that out. Because, like, that week is also MagFest and is a week before the Mystery Hunt. And that's a lot of travel. So basically, if I were to do that, I would go to... Where is it? It's not Philadelphia. It's the other city in Pennsylvania. Which I don't remember the name of. Which is on the other side of the state. Which, irritatingly enough, isn't connected to train. Isn't connected by train easily to Philly. Otherwise, I would just go to Philly. Come back. Tennessee don't know if they'll ever make AG. I know. It's like... It's interesting, but the time of year is really bad. Like, January 4th is just too dang close to too many things. Do it. Like I said, it depends upon the schedule. Like, if some of the good Mario stuff is going to be earlier in the week, I will. But otherwise, like, what I'll need to do to go to AGDQ would be... fly into... whatever the other... Pittsburgh? It's Pittsburgh. That's it. Pittsburgh. And then, basically, midweek, I would need to travel over... I need to travel back to... Just noticed that. Travel back to DC, which I can't do on a train. I'd have to fly, which is mildly annoying at best. But hey, whatever. I'll deal. Okay. I just need to get consistent at that part. I like trains. I actually saw that apparently the guy who did ADSF movie had made an agreement with Hot Topic to produce an I Like Trains shirt. And apparently they had approved a final design and then went and completely butchered it. They went and did something completely different. I think to go and have a fewer color printing process, because I think the shirt they were planning on doing was like a 3-color. And the shirt that they ended up doing was like a 2 or 1 color, in addition to the background color, obviously. So clearly could save some money there, but it wasn't nearly as cool. Love that track. I mean, to be honest, an awful lot of the ADSF movie songs are pretty good. But yeah, I'm not sure about AGDQ, just because, again, I'm going to have to split midweek to go to MagFest, because that's in DC. And then the week after is the Mystery Hunt. So basically, I will be exhausted. I need more speed there, don't I? Wheels in my head have been turning. But yeah, otherwise, like, I can travel up and down the East Coast via the Acela, and it's really not that bad unless you just get unlucky, which I have a few times. Like, coming back from the Mystery Hunt last year, coming back to DC, they had a few different things. Well, it has to do with the double jump on the shell. It's not a trick I'm that familiar with without doing a shell jump. Like, off a wall first, and have a bank, and that's not what you're supposed to do here. I'm just not familiar with that particular trick. And so I'm trying to think about, like, how does this trick work kinetically? Because I'm just not aware. Come on. Brave jump! Brave jump! Okay. You can set it down and bump it. It goes slower. You were able to get a hotel. Go to SGQ without getting a hotel last time. Thanks, your friend. You know, it is so much nicer when you don't have to spring for a hotel for a con, because, cripes, transport's not that expensive. Like, you can defray it. You can do other things. All right, I'll try nudging the shell then. You can take a bus, find some people to carpool with. Like, there's ways to make travel not cost as much. But modern hotels are expensive. So, that's one of the other reasons, like, MagFest is very appealing to me, is because I'm not going to stay at the hotel. I'm going to stay, 30-odd minutes away-ish. A little bit more, a little bit less. Because I have family lives out that way. And it'll be easy. Not to mention that my mom and sister both already bought tickets to MagFest, so I probably should go. I'm certain my sister will have a great time. My mom had a good time too last time, actually. We wandered around, looked at some stuff, and played pinball. She beat me at Godzilla. I had to try. We had to play a second time because I'm like, no, you're not beating me at Godzilla. She got a lucky mystery spot and got a Hidora thing started and got a few of those awards on accident. It sounds worse when I say it. Set it down. Oh, set it down and bump it. Set it down and bump it backwards instead of throwing it. Right, okay, that was not the plan. Yeah, bring a tent. Yeah, for SGDQ, that probably wouldn't be that bad, in all honesty. Like, the weather for SGDQ... Gamer Mom, yeah, she doesn't game that much, but every once in a while she'll put up some stuff. She has been digging pinball. And there's now a place in Arlington, which is where the Pentagon is, for the benefit of anybody who doesn't know where that is, that does pinball now, which is actually pretty nice. How are you doing, Circle Friendo? Congrats on, or... I don't know what the right way to phrase this. It's like, either congrats on becoming SMW Central Staff, or may God have mercy on your soul, kind of thing. That was not the play either way. But there's a decent place now in Arlington, which is... uses the model of, like, you can come in, you get a wristband, and you can play all you want. It's in a large mall. What is a pentagon? Did you say a pentagoon? Well, that's 5 goons typed together. Like, hired goons. The Pentagon, on the other hand, is a building that was built for the express purpose of housing all 5 of the arms, or sections of the U.S. military. Can you name all 5 of them? Because most people can't. There's a few that are obvious, and then there's the one that isn't. That is always my favorite bit of trivia, is that there are, in fact, 5 branches of the military, and one of them is not one you think of ever. Most people can get at least 3. Land, sea, air, space, and Middle Earth. That's not a bad guess. It's not right, but it's, you know, it's fries. I didn't expect much. I'm surprised you didn't go with Captain Planet. Wind, water, earth, heart! What a lousy element is heart, anyway. Spleen, way better. Okay, military, Navy, Air Force, National Guard. Well, Navy and Air Force are correct. Military is the generic term for all of them. Though I suspect there's a specific term that you'd be prompted to figure out pretty quick. Need to find love again? Probably. Well, that reminds me, I did find a picture of the weird dancing thing that I saw at MoMA forever ago. Well, no. Anyway, National Guard isn't actually part of the sort of federal apparatus. It is part of the federal apparatus, but it's not considered that. I believe the National Guard is run, I think, individually through the other branches of government or military. Like, there's a Navy National Guard. Yeah, I know. I just keep brain farting by the time I get there because my consistency for this part is crap. Better than it would have been if I had to keep running the guy into the spike, though. Cybersecurity? No. Since you're the only one legitimately guessing, if you want to give up, I'm happy to give you the answers. Marine Coast Guard. Actually, yes. Marine and Coast Guard. So you got Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard. Coast Guard's the one people always forget. The Rangers, I believe, are part of the Marines. No, Armies. Armies got the Rangers. Yeah, Army is probably what Hawaluta meant by military. So you got the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Coast Guard. The one everyone forgets. Nuts. Mix up Coast Guard with National Guard. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the military loves this kind of thing. Confusion, acronyms. It's the kind of thing they live for. I was actually watching a bit of MRE Steve yesterday, rather than sleeping. I think it'd probably be a good idea to, like, get some food storage stuff. And there was one brand he mentioned in a specific video that basically, it's like hiking food, but now apparently it's good enough the military uses their pouch systems. Well, uses just literally their off-the-shelf stuff. And he looked on the back, and the use-by date was 2053. Okay. Sit down, shell. Nudge. Closer, but not what I want. Coach Guy's the one that joined up in Family Guy and made it look like a joke. I couldn't tell you. I've not seen every episode of Family Guy. ICE is police with a pole. Essentially, since polis means city, and ICE is after the city. They've got and renamed them a lot. The immigration group. They used to be like DHS or something. No, that's Department of Homeland Security. They used to have a different name. INS. They switched it to ICE. Because that's another thing that people in government love to do, is change up acronyms and reorganize. But yes, you are correct about polis. Policeman is a man of the city. Learned that from Discworld. It is complicated. I'm not interested in getting into that here. Heavy topic for trying to do Mario jumps. Whereas making fun of the Coast Guard is absolutely okay. And easy to do. There we go. Okay. There we go. Over that, over that. I think I just need to clip my jumps. What? No. I'm being dumb. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drop it and then nudge it. He did not, in fact, drop it and nudge it. Here we go. Teddy Roosevelt started the national park system. He was, in general, pretty awesome. guess you could make some arguments about his behavior during the Spanish-American War, but honestly, everybody was just kind of embarrassed by that war. More people on the American side died of, like, dysentery than being shot at by the Spanish side of things. Went to a museum about that in Florida that was actually pretty funny. But yeah, Teddy. Patrick's yes. Ooh, or William Henry Harrison. I love William Henry Harrison. He was the president who had the shortest tenure of any president because he refused to wear a coat on his inaugural address and died of a cold about 30 days later. They also called him Old Tippecanoe. Also, at that point in time, it was still normal. Basically, nowadays, the president, people running for president get to pick their VP. But back then, by convention, the runner-up would become the VP. So it's very possible you'd end up with someone who was somewhat hostile to your ideas as your VP. So Harrison was not a very beloved icon because of this. James Garfield did have this problem. His VP was Chester A. Arthur, who was actually in someone's pocket, one of his political opponent's pockets. Okay, not going to forget what I'm doing here. Oh, no, I forgot what I was doing there. But it turned out to work out okay in the end, even though he died horribly, because Chester A. Arthur decided to continue on his really big sort of project for government, which was basically reforming the civil service to be a meritocracy, as opposed to the spoils system that it presently was. Admittedly, his desire to reform the spoils system also is what got him killed to some extent, but you know. But mostly he got killed by a dude who's a complete and utter nutbar. We thought for some reason it helped Garfield get elected, despite the fact that he clearly had not. And then really wanted to become the, what was it, ambassador to Prussia or something? Later decided I think he was happy with being the French ambassador, but nobody knew who he was and no one cared until he shot James Garfield. Okay. I did try stopping and thinking before I did there, but that still wasn't quite right. Small bounces? Okay. Like I said, I'm just not that familiar with this particular, like, Kaizo domain of trickery. Like, typically if I have a double bounce shell, usually what I'm going to do is throw it against the wall, shell jump, and then it reflects back. Like, that's the thing I'm familiar with those shells. I very rarely encounter double bounce shells outside of that. I don't know why I don't wait for that. Something about being impatient. Okay, I'll do smaller bounces. We'll see if I can just do that. In general for Kaizo, I do want to struggle and figure it myself, but when it's clear I'm not getting it, I'm perfectly happy to take a hint or two. John left. Especially with just a category of Kaizo I'm not familiar with, like the cape thing this evening. I have zero capability. That there was the first time I'd done a turnaround. I was pretty happy about that. Wonder what specific piece of code made some shells of the green variety specifically double bounceable? Who knows? There was probably some sort of like Kick and Koopa setup that they wanted a double bounce for. I know what I said. I know what I said, and I stand by it. I mean, there's been a couple cases where I've been like a judge for QLDC and someone's put like a cape level. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And zero egrets on not doing it. But yeah, learning the trick to turning around, in fact, did help. That makes me more likely to want to try to cape. Okay. Yeah, it's way easier. Oh, are we doing this? Okay. Yep, that wasn't quite right. What's up, Max? How you doing? Thank goodness that didn't put me back at the beginning. Maybe you drop it and jump on it. Let's observe some behavior before we... Yeah, that works. You know, I probably could just thrown him up here and then jumped off of him. Then he came back down. Did you hit the Bowser statue from the bottom? That should help it spit fire. I thought I was being trolled. That's another one of those things I wonder. Why in the world do we have that property of Bowser statues? Could also drop inside the wall? I suppose so. I don't trust... You know, I don't trust you at all, Yellow Shoe Koopa. Something... seems eerie. Oh, or... it's fine. Ugh. Complaint resolved. I had a complaint? Ah, I see. Gotta get me some hot drinks. Super Macron World by FanFan. Built in the Flux base ROM, made by SJ and Charlie the Cat. Credits. God. Hot drinks is so good. Tools. Fusuya. Lunar Magic. 3.31. Why was he using 163? I'm still stuck on that. Capernal. Add music, which probably has a letter added after it, but I don't know which one. Why is the K was totally solid. NSM, sprites, blocks, graphics, built in the Flux Base ROM, made by SJ Charlie Cat. Presumably you can go check out those credits if you care about that, which we don't care that much. Oh, Happy Tree Friends, Laugh, Nintendo Presents. Oh, that's it, by Kevin. Title, Carl Jenkins, Mr. Lucky. By SyncX, ported by Verizon Ringtone, Beppin for the main overworld. Impatient, Top Gear, Las Vegas, by Unknown User. Huh. The No-Fly List, Settle the Score, by Rubber Jig. Jeff's Jeep, for Jeer. The new Ghostbusters 2, Court. Huh, didn't you? Understaffed. Ryuda Know Something, Evil Eyes by Scratch. Wise 4, Mask of the Sun, Ramarok by Nanako. Time Wendy's coffee tastes so fine. Credits level currently playing. Hot Drinks by Beef Stew. They get me going. Feel it slow in Wendy's. We always serve them right away. Playtesters. Snatch. Euro Fox. O2. James Beer just... You solved every customer complaint. I gave them that tasty slice. I didn't even think twice. Fun fact, every 24 hours, about 12 to 13 billion phone calls are made. That's a lot of phone calls. That was kind of fun, actually, the fact. Enjoy the music. Oh, Jake's beer just. Oh man. Look at all those sprites for like, thank goodness no. A lot of people are waiting. You should be used to waiting. It's true. You know, it's true. Solid sprite routine sets an address of value being shared with stuff like message bug light switch. Oh, Flux base on use that version. Ah. Oh, I was still on the 1.61 thing from the 48-hour contest. That's a different thing. Fix Rubber Jig's names all got one. Ah. I would definitely suggest put a note to see the base ROM's credits for more information about the patches used if you wanted and you're already adjusting it. But that's certainly not something I'd throw back over the wall for. Just a suggestion. A gentle suggestion at that. But yeah, that was fun. I don't play enough Kaizo. I should play more. It's fun. And it gets me going. Warm me up when I feel I'm slowing. But yeah, I think that's it for this. Let's hit the end and see what happens. Just normal course clear. It's all good.